Emmanuel Jean-Michel Frédéric Macron, born December 21, 1977, is a French politician who has been serving as the 25th president of France since 2017 and ex officio, one of the two co-princes of Andorra. He previously was Minister of Economics, Industry and Digital Affairs under President François Hollande from 2014 to 2016 and Deputy Secretary General to the President from 2012 to 2014. He has been a member of Renaissance since he founded it in 2016. Born in Amiens, Macron studied philosophy at Paris Nanterre University. He completed a master's degree in public affairs at Sciences Po and graduated from the École Nationale d'Administration in 2004. He worked as a senior civil servant at the Inspectorate General of Finances and as an investment banker at Rothschild & Company. Appointed Élysée Deputy Secretary General by President François Hollande shortly after his election in May 2012, Macron was one of Hollande's senior advisors. Appointed Minister of Economics, Industry and Digital Affairs in August 2014 in the second Valls government, he led a number of business-friendly reforms. He resigned in August 2016 in order to launch his 2017 presidential campaign. A member of the Socialist Party from 2006 to 2009, he ran in the election under the banner of En Marche, a centrist and pro-European political movement he founded in April 2016. Partly as a result of the Fillon affair, which sank the Republican nominee François Fillon's chances, Macron topped the ballot in the first round of voting and was elected President of France on May 7, 2017 with 66.1% of the vote in the second round, defeating Marine Le Pen of the National Front. At the age of 39, he became the youngest president in French history. In the 2017 legislative election in June, his party, renamed La République En Marche, LREM, secured a majority in the National Assembly. Macron was elected to a second term in the 2022 presidential election, again defeating Le Pen, thus becoming the first French presidential candidate to win re-election since Jacques Chirac defeated Jean-Marie Le Pen in 2002. His centrist coalition lost its absolute majority in the 2022 legislative election, resulting in a hung parliament and the formation of France's first minority government since the fall of the Bérégovoy government in 1993. Macron's current prime minister is Gabriel Attal, youngest head of government in French history and first openly gay man to hold the office, whom he appointed in January 2024 to replace Elisabeth Borne, the second female prime minister of France, after a major government crisis. Following crushing defeat at the 2024 European Parliament elections, Macron dissolved the National Assembly and called for a snap legislative election, which resulted in another hung parliament and electoral defeat for his ruling coalition. It was only the third time in the French Republic's history that a president lost an election he called of his own initiative. During his presidency, Macron has overseen several reforms to labor laws, taxation, and pensions, and has pursued a renewable energy transition. Dubbed President of the Rich by political opponents, increasing protests against his domestic reforms and demanding his resignation marked the first years of his presidency, culminating in 2018 to 2020 with the Yellow Vest protests and the pension reform strike. In foreign policy, he called for reforms to the European Union, EU, and signed bilateral treaties with Italy and Germany. Macron conducted 40 billion euros in trade and business agreements with China during the China-United States trade war and oversaw a dispute with Australia and the United States over the AUKUS Security Pact. From 2020, he led France's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and vaccination rollout. In 2023, the government of his prime minister, Elisabeth Borne, passed legislation raising the retirement age from 62 to 64. The pension reforms proved controversial and led to public sector strikes and violent protests. He continued Operation Camel in the war against the Islamic State and joined in the international condemnation of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Macron was born on December 21, 1977 in Amiens. He is the son of Françoise Macron, née Nogues, a physician, and Jean-Michel Macron, professor of neurology at the University of Picardy. The couple divorced in 2010. He has two siblings, Laurent, born in 1979, and Estelle, born in 1982. Françoise and Jean-Michel's first child was stillborn. The Macron family legacy is traced back to the village of Authy, Picardy. One of his paternal great-grandfathers, George William Robertson, was English and was born in Bristol, United Kingdom. His maternal grandparents, Jean and Germaine Nogues, née Arabet, are from the Pyrenean town of Bagnères-de-Bigorre, Gascony. He commonly visited Bagnères-de-Bigorre to visit his grandmother Germaine, whom he called Minette. Macron associates his enjoyment of reading and his leftward political leanings to Germaine, who, after coming from a modest upbringing of a stationmaster father and a housekeeping mother, became a teacher and then a principal. Although raised in a non-religious family, Macron was baptized a Catholic at his own request at age 12. He is agnostic today. Macron was educated mainly at the Jesuit Institute Lycée La Providence in Amiens before his parents sent him to finish his last year of school at the elite Lycée Henri IV in Paris, where he completed the high school curriculum and the undergraduate program with a Bac S, mention très bien. At the same time, he was nominated for the Concours General, most selective national-level high school competition, in French literature and received his diploma for his piano studies at Amiens Conservatory. His parents sent him to Paris due to their alarm at the bond he had formed with Brigitte Auzière, a married teacher with 3 children at Jesuits de la Providence, who later became his wife. In Paris, Macron twice failed to gain entry to the École Normale Supérieure. He instead studied philosophy at the University of Paris-West Nanterre La Défense, obtaining a DEA degree, a master-level degree, with a thesis on Machiavelli and Hegel. Around 1999, Macron worked as an editorial assistant to Paul Ricoeur, the French Protestant philosopher who was then writing his last major work, La Mémoire, l'Histoire et l'Oubli. Macron worked mainly on the notes and bibliography. Macron became a member of the editorial board of the literary magazine Esprit. Macron did not perform national service because he was pursuing his graduate studies. Born in December 1977, he belonged to the last cohort for whom military service was mandatory. Macron obtained a master's degree in public affairs at Sciences Po, majoring in public guidance and economy, before training for a senior civil service career at the Selective École Nationale d'Administration, (INA), training at the French Embassy in Nigeria and at the Prefecture of Oise before graduating in 2004.